Hello people, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the workshop finally. The time has come to give the old v-strom a bit of love. Over the next few videos we're going to be doing a few services and items. Today we're just going to give it a simple engine oil and filter change. We also need to do the front brake pads, and we'll go through the routine of removing the fuel tank so we can change the air filter and the spark plugs. Stick around for more. First things first folks, a few safety precautions. By wearing gloves, engine oil is carcinogenic, causes dermatitis of the skin, not a nice thing to have. Next thing is, we're going to be running the engine of this beast. We need adequate ventilation, we don't want to gas ourselves. Also along with running the engine, the exhaust, and the engine's going to get hot. Need to be careful we don't burn ourselves. Okay, first step, I'll always look at it to make sure we have the correct parts. I have adequate amount of the right specification engine oil and the correct oil filter. I have a selection of crush washers in the workshop. I'll find the correct one when I remove the sump plug, as this is the first time I've serviced this bike since my ownership. Okay folks, first step is we're going to idle the bike for a couple of minutes to warm the engine oil up. This is going to do two things for us. One is it's going to lower the viscosity of the oil, help it drain out faster and easier. We'll get more oil out. Plus it's going to put any contaminants in the oil back into suspension. So as much as that can come out, that's i.e. your carbon, above fuel, that all comes from the combustion process. Also metal particles from normal engine wear. Also on this bike it has a wet clutch inside the crankcase, so you can have clutch particles as well, again from normal wear and tear. Well, hello down there. Right, first things first, for clarity of the video and ease of getting the oil filter off, I'm going to remove the belly pan. This is done by 4 Allen key bolts, 4mm Allen key bit or hex head. Be careful of the exhaust because we've just been running the bike, which is fairly toasty. That's all they are. 4mm. Same as fairing fixings. I'd already removed the other two from the other side. This is around the shop. There's your belly pan. Just remove it out. Okay, I'll come and join you down here. Next step is drain pan that's big enough or high enough capacity. Drain bolt is 17mm, spanner, socket, whatever your poison is. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Very few fixings on this bike that will be opposite to normal thread. Well, where was that? This last was way too tight. Prime example for using a torque wrench to do up your fixings there. That was way over tight. Okay, now try not to drop your drain plug into this. There we go. Chewy. That's nice to see. This has a magnetic drain plug in it. There's very few metal particles or filings on there, or swarf, whatever you want to call it. Right. Just give that a quick clean up, then I'm going to find suitable crush sealing washer. Right, whilst that's draining, we will remove the oil filter. Just a cheap, generic oil filter pliers. Right. Sorry about the noise, folks. But, I haven't really do much about it because it's been in industrial state. Right. Leave that drain away. Make sure when you remove the filter, make sure the old rubber seal for the oil filter comes away with it. If it hasn't, remove it. Right. Whilst the oil is draining, clean your drain plug, fit a new crush washer. Do I always replace the crush washer? I'd be a hypocrite if I said I did. But you run the risk. You run the risk of having an oil leak if you don't. So for the sake of a few pence, change it. Once you're ready for the sub to finish draining, get your oil filter ready. The oil filter, remove plastic. This is already a pre-lubricated seal. If it isn't a pre-lubricated one, just put a bit of engine oil on there. Save you tearing it on fitment, and it'll make removal when you come to do the oil change again in a few thousand kilometres, to make removal a whole lot easier. I'm fitting fully synthetic Motul 1040. I'm not going to tell you what oil you need to install this. This is just my own personal preference. If you don't know what to put into it, just go by the manufacturer's specifications and recommendations, which you'll find in your owner's manual. Okay. Once you're happy with the oil is sufficiently drained, refit the oil filter. Personally, I know a lot of people pre-fill the filter. I don't personally, unless the filter I'm fitting is in a vertical position with the open face for up. Otherwise you're just going to make a mess installing the filter. I'm confident in the fact that the oil remaining in the engine has sufficient film strength on the friction surfaces to sustain lubrication for the few seconds it's going to take for it to build up oil pressure after the first startup. Okay. Refit your filter. Oh look, cheap flappy gloves. No, just do it up nicely tight by hand. Or if you have the correct filter tool, you can do them up with the top range to 12 Newton meters. But just hand tight will do me anyway. Okay, we're just going to do the last few drips in up. Install the drain plug. Torque setting for the drain plug is 23 Newton meters. Like I say, things like drain plugs, I will always use a torque wrench. They're not expensive. This one myself, the small one I have, is only a cheap one. It's about 40 euro. Right, just until it gets, I'll bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. If you don't have a torque wrench, be sensible. Okay. 23 Newton meters is not very tight. And you can see by this. Now, I'll just put it with my one finger there, and I can easily provide enough torque. Okay, so it doesn't have to be tight at all, just be sensible, don't kill it. If you over tighten it and you pull the threads in the crank casing, you're in a world of pain. Adding oil time, we'll bring the camera back up there, 2 seconds. Okay, capacity of the engine, says it right here on the casing, look. 2,700 millilitres, which is 2.7 litres. Okay, but I'd use that as a guide. We'll always go by the level in the sight glass. Okay, the level in the sight glass is always taken when the bike is vertically upright, not on the side stand, otherwise you'll overfill it. So we're just going to slowly add 2.5 litres, and then we'll start checking. Right, that's 2.5 litres gone in, so now we're going to start watching the glass. Look at me. Jesus. It's as bad as when I was a kid, my mother could not keep me clean. Okay, at 2.5 litres, it's just started to show in the sight glass. So we're just going to add a little bit at a time now. It is actually on the full mark, it's just the angle of the camera. Before we start the bike for the first time, turn the ignition on and identify where the oil warning light is, which is the red one there below the traction control light. Keep an eye on that after first start up. If it doesn't go out after 8 or 10 seconds, turn the engine off and recheck what you've done, because it's not building oil pressure. Okay, going to start there now. Okay, I'm going to run it for a further few seconds or 10 seconds after the oil light goes out. What we need to do now, after running it, we need to leave it settle for a minute or two, then we're going to do our final top up. So now we're going to add a small bit more and bring it up to the full line, and that will be our final oil level. Okay, I'm happy with that. We'll remove the funnel, then I'll drip back into the can. Make sure you refit your oil. Okay, last step is to refit your belly pan. These don't have to be very tight at all. They're just going into rubber grommets, so just a nip. Okay, literally just a nip. Okay guys, that's pretty much it for the oil filter change. Nothing to it really. One more thing I will do once it's out of the workshop is I'll take it for a quick spin, then I'll check for any leaks that may have occurred and rectify if necessary. Oh dear. Thank you very much for watching. We are going to be doing some more servicing work to this, so please look out for more videos to come. Please like, subscribe and share these videos. Thank you very much.